There are roads you drive because they get you somewhere, and then there are roads you drive because, for reasons you don't even question anymore, you keep choosing them, even when there are faster ways. Even today, with all the shortcuts and highways available, when I'm headed to or from Hot Springs, where I lived as a kid, I still take the back way, what we always called the old Little Rock Highway, Highway 5. I've been driving that road since the 1970s, long before it was busy, long before anybody cared about shaving 10 minutes off a trip. Back when you took a road because it felt right, not because something told you to. It was never the fastest way to anywhere, but it was always the right way for me. Parts of that road follow an even older path. Long before it had a number, it was a stagecoach route. Wagons, horses, people moving slow between places that really mattered. You can still feel that way if you pay attention. The road doesn't straighten itself out for you. It curves, it rises and falls. It asks you to slow down. That road has a rhythm. And every time I turn onto it, even now, it fires things up in me. Old memories come back without asking permission. Not pictures so much as feelings. The woods, the light, the quiet stretches where your thoughts finally have room to move. One of the reasons I've always taken that road is where it leads. Out along Highway 5, close to Owensville, sits Kara's Packing Company. For a long time, Kara's felt like it existed almost by accident, a solid little place in a rural stretch that you didn't stumble onto unless you already knew it was there. I've been stopping there since the 1970s, back when that part of the road was still pretty isolated. Kara's was opened by a Polish man named John Kara. He was a butcher by trade, someone who understood food the old way, not as a product, but as something tied to family and tradition. Funny enough, Kara also happens to be my sister's first name, which always made the stop feel a little more personal to me. Back then, Kara's wasn't a hub, it was a discovery. But when something is done right, word travels, and it travels fast. Over the years, Kara's became what rural places sometimes become when they endure, a landmark, not because it advertised, not because it reinvented itself, but because it stayed the same while everything around it changed. Today, it's a central point for the area. Folks stop in for groceries, for meats, and traditional foods you don't find just anywhere anymore. They come because they trust it, because their parents trusted it, because trust like that doesn't need updating. Tonight, that trust is sitting right here on my plate. Homemade Polish sausage from Kara's, kraut done the right way, potato and onion pierogies. Simple food, heavy food, the kind of meal that slows you down whether you plan on it or not. That meal also takes me straight back to my father. Food like this was part of his heritage. It was familiar to him in a way that didn't need explaining. Meals like this carried stories he didn't always put into words about where he came from, what mattered, and how family gathered when life allowed it. Add an ice-cold draft-style beer and a glass stein, and suddenly the years fold in on themselves. Family, tables, cold winters, plates being set down, and nobody in a hurry to leave. I've spent a lot of my life in places where things went wrong. Crime scenes, morgues, institutions that failed people they were supposed to protect. When you live in that world long enough, you start to value the roads and the places that slow you down and remind you of what still matters. The old Little Rock Highway does that for me. So does Kara's. Some roads take you forward, others take you home. And every time I take Highway 5, the old Little Rock Highway, to Kara's, it still does both. Y'all be kind to each other, okay?